Hello and welcome to the Trinity Fit Over 40 podcast with me, Rob Burkhead. Today's episode is with Emma B, a magic radio DJ in her 50s who joined me for an Instagram live to discuss her journey with Trinity so far. She approached us after recovering from a breast cancer diagnosis earlier this year, and she was in the midst of a really difficult menopause, so she did not have it easy. She's been suffering with extreme fatigue, hot flushes, low mood, and a load more symptoms, and all in was feeling pretty rubbish. Her weight had also crept up and she was no longer fitting into her clothes and she was not feeling her best. However, she's been working with us inside of our private coaching program for the past 12 weeks. And in that time, she's been able to lose over a stone, fit back into her favourite clothes, and most importantly, get her energy back for her career and her family life after going through such a tough year with breast cancer and menopause. This is really, really important. So in today's episode, she shares how she did all of that. Now, the audio's a little patchy at times, so please do bear with us as it's been taken from Instagram Live and the connection was not perfect, but it's a cracking episode and it's really inspiring to show what's possible even after a breast cancer diagnosis this year and some really tough menopause symptoms that are still ongoing. So without further ado, let's get into today's podcast.
There we go. We
Got
did
it.
it. We
Every
did
time
it.
I do-
Oh, we did it.
Welcome, how are you doing?
I'm fine. I get so, look, I'm in the middle of a hot flush, so I've just had to open my window and my glasses are steaming up already.
This is
So I'm in the right place, right?
Well, this is what we want to be talking about for everyone who's on. The real life in the menopause. We're going to talk about weight loss, but also everything else, right? So I know it's been challenging for you at times. I know you've obviously done really, really well. You're looking great, by the way. So where should we start? I think for our followers, I'd like to do the blind date question. For your followers, I'm sure they already know who you are and where you come from.
Okay. So my name is Emma B. That's not my real surname. I'm not a Spice Girl. I've been a radio DJ for about 25 years. I'm currently on Magic. I've just got a new weekend show, which is lovely. Twice as much fun, half as much pressure. Fabulous. I am 53 in about 2 weeks. So will your present be arriving in a van?
Yes. Big van with nothing in it. No. My birthday's in weeks as well. What date is your birthday? Or
I'm on the 27th, but I think we talked about this. When's yours?
22nd, so 5 days.
Are you 53 as well?
Almost. My body feels like it sometimes. No. I'm 30, so I'm a man woman with menopause, and our team does, who's obviously not menopausal, but hopefully knows quite a lot, weirdly, about menopause.
Well, look, I mean, yeah, and it's been, there are lots of people that are forced into early menopause, medicalized menopause. So it does, it can affect women of all ages, but it does affect every woman. And as that, with that kind of, that sort of unequivocal statistic, it's really important that we, as many people know about menopause as possible. So, the work that you've been doing with women over 40 is amazing. It's great. And, I think I probably started feeling menopausal symptoms in early 40s. It is particularly bad at the moment. And then, particularly bad at the moment, I had a breast cancer diagnosis at the beginning of the year. And so I'm not allowed to take HRT. Which we're working on, but that's for a different discussion. So it was quite an intense period of my life, I had no energy, really struggling emotionally, really struggling with my weight, and then you guys turned up, and I was like, what do two boys know about the bloody menopause? Nothing. Turns out I was wrong. We've done some really nice work together, and Danny's been amazing and been really cool. So, I'm very grateful for your help.
And you've obviously worked hard, and I think just I know it's not just about this. We're not just going to talk about it. But so for people who are listening, we've got 17 people on now, and watching the recording. Give them the highlight. What would you say are the top 3 kind of wins you've had over the past? Well, it's a little bit longer than 3 months now, but over the past few months since we started working together, what would you say are the biggest highlights for you?
I think initially it was definitely energy. Definitely energy. I'll be, you know me, I did join to lose this weight that appeared overnight. And it felt like, and I've always been quite small. I've been very fortunate like that. I was very fit as a kid. I did lots of dance. I was, always very, very active. And I've always walked the dog and climbed mountains and, I as well as drinking wine and having fun, and doing all the things that we're supposed to do. And then I think I probably hit 45 and I went up 2 dress sizes in the space of 2 or 3 years. And I don't know necessarily that the size was an issue, because we all have to be happy in our skin, and that's absolutely paramount. I think it was the fact that I didn't think I was in control of it. I couldn't work out how to control it. It seemed like everything that I did wasn't making any difference. And then on top of that, to have this unbelievable fatigue, this really, really desperately tired. My skin wasn't great. I wasn't sleeping very well. So to be able to see some very fast results from the work that tapped into that was that was number 1. Number 2 was getting my weight under control, and I'm smiling because I know what to do, and I know how it works. And the vast majority of us are not trainers like you and Danny, and so we have fluctuations in our commitment, and sometimes you do a bit, sometimes you do a lot, and then there'll be a couple of days where you don't do very much at all. But what I was doing was working. I'm gonna shut the window. Storm Debbie's on the way. There we go. See, before I did Trinity Transformations, I'd have had to ask my husband because I wasn't strong enough. Joke. So I think, and so it was energy, getting my weight under control, and feeling strong. And I think there was I told Danny this actually, who's been my trainer, that I had a fall on the escalators and the underground in London a couple of years back, just not long after we came out of lockdown. And it wasn't a big fall on the escalators, but it was enough to really knock my confidence. And I didn't feel like I had it was, my legs were wobbly going up and down the stairs. And I said to Danny, I said, you know what? And it was I suppose it was about 2 months into it that I'd walked down the escalators and not felt unsafe. And that was, I think, you really underestimate those little moments as an older woman. You really underestimate those moments. And it was so nice to feel strong and to not be scared. And things like that have meant everything to me. And so whilst the weight loss has been, and I'm getting into, because we all do it, like you keep those trousers and you keep that dress and you kind of go, yeah, no, I'll wear that again when I lose weight, and you never do. And then, and again, it's fine. Look, it's fine. We can't all be perfect, but I think it's a constant reminder that you're failing a bit, and that's, you need to be. I think all this whole process with me and Trinity has been about control and being able to feel like I'm in control, like I have the choice, like I have made the progress, I've committed to the plan, I've seen results, and the results in my body have been incredible. The results in my head and my heart have been just as incredible.
I love that. Yeah, so much more. I know we talked about this before than just being about the weight. And I think for a lot of people I speak to, I don't know if you found this as well, there's a lot of confusion around what's the right thing to do. Now your body is clearly changing and different, and you've going through menopause and breast cancer and all of these things. Were there any surprises in terms of what you thought you should be doing versus what you actually ended up doing in like exercise or diet?
Yeah, 100%, absolutely 100%. I think I've avoided exercising a lot of exercise programs because I'm not very aerobically fit, and I was like, I can't. I hate, that it just wasn't like the whole cardio thing for me is difficult, and so I was really surprised that it was resistance based, weight based, repetition based stuff that I could do. I've got guns. I've got guns now, and also I think so. So that was a real surprise. I really didn't think it would be as weight based as it is. And there's also there's a really good psychological kick about that as well. Not just doing it, toning yourself up but like feeling strong and powerful at a time when most of us really feel like we've had the wind knocked out of us. Like we're not in control, and we're not strong, and we're not powerful, and we're disappearing from workplaces, and you feel like sometimes you have this feeling like you're disappearing a little bit, you're like way down the list of importance, and to be able to feel kind of, I can lift this is amazing. And to feel strong is a really lovely thing at this age. It's a blessing. It's really lovely. I don't think I was massively surprised about the nutrition side of it, apart from the fact that if we know what we're like, okay, well look, if I just don't eat chocolate for a week, I'll look like Kate Moss in like a month. And I'll have another glass of wine and I'll start my diet tomorrow. And we do all that stuff. And that first week, what do you call it, that first week, Rob?
Diet makeover.
Oh my God. Oh my God, that first week. So no wheat, no dairy, no sugar, no alcohol, no caffeine for a week. That was an incredible kickstart. And actually, if you are going to try this with Rob and his team, do it and stick to it, because you come out the other end of that 7 days feeling like you can do anything. And actually that wasn't nearly as difficult as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, we hear that a lot of, that the diet makeover, cutting out the WODs foods and potentially caffeine as well, is like, it's quite an intimidating thing, but we put it at the start because everyone's motivated and you feel so good afterwards, and you don't have to do it forever. I'm sure you've had those things since, right? It's not like miserable for the rest of your life, but it's a kickstart, and it's to get you to realize how these things make you feel, because potentially that thing you may have been able to get away with in your 20s and 30s and feel fine, and maybe not so much now. I don't know if there's any foods now or alcohol or late nights that you can't do that you used to be able to do.
Like everything. but then also that, I think that it feeds itself, doesn't it? You look after yourself, you feel more capable, so you go and do the things that maybe you did do when you're 20. But certainly, I think everybody, if there's anybody listening that that likes a glass of wine still, like I do, you really the hangovers are awful. The hot sweats go through the roof. You then haven't got the energy to do the stuff that makes you. This isn't, don't not enjoy life. You have to enjoy yourself. But certainly, like my body processes things in a completely different way than it did 20 years ago. Like it just did. It does not process alcohol in the same way that it did. Like it really didn't. It really doesn't. And I think we you keep trying to do the same thing, and that's like banging your head against a brick wall. It's not going to work.
Yeah, again, I speak to so many people who are doing the same thing, doing the cardio that we talked about. They're drenched in sweat, they're exhausted, then joints are all aching, but they're still having the glass of wine every night, or two, or the bottle, and it's not working. And and at some point, you have to change up what you're doing to work with your body. And I think the other really inspiring thing, from talking to you all these times is you've done this fairly recently out of recovery from breast cancer, right?
Yeah.
This year. And that must have also taken its toll on your body. So it's not just menopause. And did you feel, you have lymph nodes removed, that you're able, were you worried that you wouldn't be able to do certain?
Yes. Yeah, I was. And so I had a lumpectomy and some lymph nodes taken out from underneath my arm. And so I was a little concerned about the weight on my right side. And Danny and I worked together to kind of just pimp a few of the exercises. So things like push-ups are still were quite difficult. So, she would temper those and say, okay, how many weight? Well, just give me an hour and I'll come back to you. And an hour later, sure as it, there'd be another 3 exercises that she'd given me to replace the push-ups or replace whatever I couldn't do. So she was really aware of that. And I think that there is, especially if you're in recovery from any kind of operation, and if you've had treatment through breast cancer, whether that's radiotherapy or chemotherapy, your body has taken a bashing. It's absolutely taken a bashing. And so you have to talk to your trainer and you have to talk to your GP and you have to be absolutely ready to do that. There is no pressure whatsoever to get back on your feet and any other time but your own. For me, it was a quieter time of my life because I was taking a step back from work as well to get myself back on my feet. So it was a time of really looking after this incredible body that's kept me here. To kind of as almost to you go, my body's so clever, I've got through this, I'm still here, where many people aren't. Count your blessings and look after this vessel that you've been given. And I felt after coming out of the breast cancer, I had felt very, very very low, very insecure, very damaged by the whole process. So for me to do something to get my life back, my strength, my energy back was really, really important. And it has absolutely done that. I think your approach though is also, it's massively encouraging. You're not screaming at me going, get out of the floor and give me 20. There's no loads of like, oh my God, this is so cool and we're all so happy, which is great, and that's fine. For me, there are so many things that I love about it. It's quiet, it's consistent, it's supportive, and it's really informative as well. And I love the American exercise fever when and all the equipment and whatever, and I love some of that, but at that point in time I needed to really focus. And I think if you are a busy person who has a changing timetable like I do every day, if you can't get yourself to a gym, if you can't do classes and and all that kind of stuff, I can't do with my job. It was great, get up in the morning, get you on the screen, put my own soundtrack on. So between you and Underworld, I've lost a stone, and so that's it's really worked for me, Rob.
No, I know. It's great to hear, and as you said, our approach is fairly unique. It's not like the American approaches where we just go crazy, pump you up. Like I do try and encourage people. I'm not completely bored, but it may work for you, right? Which is the whole point, I think. And I wanted to touch on working with Danny. So Danny's been your coach, as you. So everyone we work with works one-to-one with a coach. Obviously, that coach may go on holiday for a couple of weeks a year, but otherwise, it's always working one-to-one with that coach to build that connection. And I think that's also important. So they understand you, they understand your needs. So let's pick up Danny. What would you say, like, in terms of that accountability, in terms of that coaching, has that been fundamental for you? And what would you say have been the best bits about that? I know you've mentioned it already a little bit, but a little bit
I think
more.
There's the accountability, and it's and when I say accountability, it's the most friendliest, encouraging form of accountability. What we do is, I have a book that I fill in. We have a plan for the next week. I think there was some really important work that I did with Danny when we first started, which was things about like timetabling and actually going through my diary kind of like day by day, trying to find the gaps, trying to find the hours, and being quite sort of, as she really held my hand for those first few weeks, and just kind of go, well, hang on a second, what about, so if you're going out, and then you also think you can do things as well with having the one-to-one coaching is great, because, so for example, if you're going out, you know, and you're going out for dinner, or you're going out, and you know, you can bring that into the conversation with your trainer. We did with Danny. She's like, okay, so have you had a look at the menu? You know, let's go and have a look at the menu together. What about this? You could try some of that. You could have some nice roast potatoes with a bit of salmon and whatever. So there's, you know, and if you're going to be away for the weekend, you know, when even stuff like when could you do the big shop, right through to, well, you could make a little bit of spag bog then to go for. So those sort of bits at the beginning were absolutely crucial, and you really underestimate. I really underestimated how helpful that was, how much difference that made. And then at the end of the week as well, you know, you'll always get a you know, a well done, and that sounds amazing, and you know, and I'll tell you something as well, right? I don't think Danny asked me once in those first those early weeks and those early few months, had I weighed myself, what was my weight? She never asked me. She never asked me. And I want to make that really clear to anybody who's you know, there's no, the accountability isn't a weigh-in every week. For me, it wasn't. It was about, you know, how many of the workouts that we got through, how we felt it was progressing, whether we could up the weights this week, you know, checking on my joints, anything hurting, letting me know. But the accountability thing is not oh, well, you know, at the end, you know, and sometimes I would volunteer it because I'd weighed myself, you know, and I'd just gone, holy heck, this is working. But it's not like that, and it's friendly and supportive, and you know, really understanding that if you've had a bad week and something's gone wrong, then that's fine. You know, you just keep going. You just keep going, and you know, one step at a time.
Yeah, we're not here to be the police. I think that it doesn't work. You know, at least for the people we work with, you don't need the police. It's coaching, and we're trying to support you to get the best out of the time. You know, we always want to work with people who are committed. We're not forcing anyone to do it.
Yeah.
But we understand it's not going to be perfect. We work with really busy people like you know, who have changing schedules all the time, a family, you know, social life. It's not about, we're not just working with bodybuilders and things like that. And by the way, you're getting so much love in the comments.
Most of it's from my daughter. That doesn't count. Hello, Edie.
I love that. That's a ball. I don't get it. It's not me. My kid can't go on Instagram Live. He's the only supporter, so.
Well, look, you know, it's Edie, go away. Oh, look, there we go. You see, look, fatigue kicked in, and my friends deserve it. I wish I'd known about this then. It's I think you know, and I as I said before, if you're going to try this with Rob and the team, please do that WOD's first week, because it just sets you up for what you need to carry on. The fatigue around menopause is bone crushing. It's bone crushing, and you know, I think you know, you really need to get past that, because all of that motivation to keep going has to come from, you know, this little well of energy that you have, and to get some of that back has been amazing. Has been absolutely amazing.
It's great for you to share, because I think obviously it can feel, I'm not saying this from personal experience, just from speaking to clients and all the people we've worked with, but it can feel like, you know, your body's let you down, right? And you're out of control, and there's nothing you can do, but there are some things you can do. Obviously you can't change it all. I know we talked about HT, but exercise, nutrition, also the mindset, sleep, caffeine, all of these things play a big part. And I think a lot of people don't realize quite how big an effect they're having on like amplifying the negatives. And obviously it sounds, you know, you can see you've got the energy, and I know probably you have to drag through the tougher parts of it, but it sounds like you're in an amazing place. And I just wanted to say thank you for coming on and sharing, because it's really inspiring to hear.
Well, it's thank you and the team, you know, absolutely. And we're on phase 2 now. we're on phase 2. What's my phase 2? Tell me about phase 2. What are you going to do to me?
So phase 1 is about, we call this reboot. So this is what you've already done, right? The first 12 weeks to cover the fundamentals. So exercise, nutrition, get those two keyed in so you're feeling your best. And obviously you also lost, it was around a stone, right? So you also
Yeah. I started 5'2", so I'm a little one. I started at just about 11 stone, and I've ended up I'm steady now at 9'11", 9'12". So and I know that I could do some more. I know I could. At the moment, I'm really enjoying that being steady. It's like that thing that I can kind of go, that's it. You see, I am in control of my weight now. And that is, I think this is the thing that, you get to this age where it's like so much life flings so much at you, and the kids leave home, and you put on this weight, and the job changes, and and you've got parents to look after, and kids going through GCSEs and all the challenges that life throws at you. And I think it can really feel sometimes like it's spinning out of control. And so to have something that you can, that you can control, that is so good for you, that makes all the difference is really, it's really empowering. It's really empowering. So, thank you.
No, you're welcome. And phase 2, just to make sure we cover that, is going to just continue that journey. So first one is to take control of the body. Second phase is about the mind, so we call it reframe. So we basically go through a tool called the stress shield that you can do anywhere very easily to put your mind in the right place. Because I think most people we work with have all of those stresses, aging parents, maybe family of their own as well that they're caring for, and a busy career, and they're juggling all of those things, and it's very stressful. It's really easy to go, sorry, it's been a terrible day, let's just have a glass of wine. Yeah. Or I've scales and the scales haven't changed, so what's the point? Or I'll start again next Monday. And all of these things can start to creep in. So it's helping to deal with all of those thoughts that I think, again, they're amplified around menopause, and you're also thinking, my body's let me down, what's the point? I can't lose weight now, all of these different things. So it's about getting your head in the right place, dealing with stress better. We do use a tool called the stress shield. And then the last 2 phases are reverse and maintain, which is basically to build your metabolism back up after dieting, because it does slow down, even if we're really sensible, which we are. It's to get it back so you don't get that rebound. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever had you lose the weight, and then within a couple of months it's all back on. It's to avoid that, so that it stays down, and then stay feeling great, obviously. And then the maintain phase is to make sure you keep the habits up long term that are making you feel good, but go find the right balance. So some people might not want to do, they might want to do some different types of exercise. I know you do outdoor swimming. We nearly had that.
You are such a cheat. I'm going to tell you this. We were supposed to go outdoors while swimming together, right? I was like, come on then, because I go outdoor swimming at the shack in Dorking. I haven't been for a few weeks. It's been a bit cold. And we were supposed to be going together, and you were so nervous that you did a cheeky behind my back swim just to make sure you could do it. That was hilarious.
I went and did an outdoor swimming course because I was worried I'd drown. And then I myself, so I couldn't do the swim at all, didn't I? So
yeah, you owe me one, and now it's much colder.
So I did 10 lengths on the holiday. I've just been on my honeymoon, and my shoulder's still messing up. But in the new year, I reckon I'll be able to do it. So we're going to do it. You can watch me drown and hopefully rescue me.
Well, that would be really lovely. I'd love to go swimming with you, and by then I'll be even fitter and stronger as well. So, and congratulations on your wedding and your honeymoon. How was Kenya?
Tanzania we went to. Next to
I knew that, Tanzania. Yeah.
No, it was really good. It was really good, but you can't do any activities, so I was going slightly insane. You're just stuck, driving, which is amazing. When I say you can't, I did do a couple of workouts in my tent, but in 2 weeks I did 2 workouts, which is not good for me. So I'm back on it now.
Good.
But we ate 3 courses. So just to be real with everyone, we had 3 courses for every meal, bar breakfast. I definitely ate too much. Didn't do much, but so you only have one honey.
You're allowed. Anyway, you do lots of different exercise on your honeymoon, don't you, Rob?
Sure about that.
dear. All right. Well, look, I'm going to look forward to phase 2. But like, I think honestly, if you're listening, and anyways, well, look, here we go. Hot sweats. Oh my God, right in front of you. This is it. This is how it happens. Give it a go, because it's been really nice so far, and I've really enjoyed it. So thank you.
No, thanks, Emma. It's been a pleasure having you on board, and obviously speaking to you about the progress. Hopefully in another few months we can do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. I may in a few months' time there as well. Like, I might actually get my guns out and show you my guns.
Oh yeah.
My daughter's so impressed, because she's a real gym bunny. And she's got all this lovely definition, but she's 20, so I mean, you know, that's easy, right? But like, I showed her my guns, like she was just like, I can see them. I'm like, I know, right? Mummy's got guns.
And this is what it's about, right? It's about being strong as well. And I think people may not get it until they get into it. Some people do.
Yes.
We have clients who they've never liked exercise. I know I'm going around now, but their school, you know, their PE teacher told them they were hopeless, all of it, and they've lived with that for the rest of their life. And then they started, and within 12 weeks, they're lifting loads of weight. They're going, I'm enjoying exercise for the first time in my whole life.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to look like body pump or, you know, whatever it is that people hate, running. You know, you don't have to do things like that, and you can feel fit and strong whether you're a man or woman. You know, it doesn't really matter. And I personally found strength training was the thing that took me from a really skinny, insecure child to being hopefully a bit more confident and you know, starting the business and everything. And for a lot of our clients, it's the thing that kind of changes. You know, it's a transition period with menopause, but also stick thin, and you know, always about weight loss and starving myself to actually fueling the body properly, feeling great, and doing it for those reasons. And the weight loss is just a nice bonus. There's my rant over. I know obviously you've made time this evening for this, so thank you so much, and obviously for everyone for listening as well. To your daughter for all of the support as well. Legend, as she said a few times.
Legend.
Well,
look, we'll speak really soon. But thank you. And watch this space for more empowering.
I know you've got
training.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Emma. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.